What is the most basic thing you are terrible at? 1. Handwriting. It doesn't seem to matter how hard I try, it always looks like a drunk spider has stood in ink and wandered across the page. Edit. Not a doctor, so please ignore any medical advice I give out. 2. You are really good at coming up with interesting similes though. 3. Yeah, that was spot on. It's how I'd describe my handwriting too, if I was that slick. 4. You are really good at coming up with hopeful conditionals though. 5. Same. It is so bad that a friend of mine got a top position ins because she could read my handwriting. She said basically all she did was read my essay tests out loud. 6. Same. My handwriting has never in my life in stage that was okay, and it went straight terrible when I started working, and basically any situations I write is when I have to sign something, and even then I struggle to make two similar signatures on one paper. 7. My wife thinks my signature is that of an insane person on meth. You can't tell what my name is if you tried? On the upside, my signature is impossible to forge. 8. Whistling. 9. I feel this. Also can't snap. So I'm a real mess all around. 10. People have tried their best to teach me how to snap. I do all the right movements, but no snapping noise ever happens. Makes me feel like something's wrong with me. 11. I have this same issue. Folks typically use their thumb and middle finger, right? Although, I can snap my fingers using my thumb and ring finger. It's the only way possible. It took me years to discover to try using another finger. Even then, I can exclusively do it with my left hand. My right one. Zero chance. Anyway, I'm guessing this is due to my fingers being too bony. There's not much meat on the pads of my fingers. I'd assume it's easier for folks with fleshy fingers. But me? Nah. 12. You just put your lips together and blow. 13. Yeah, I know it's more difficult than that, but I can't help it. I speak in movie quotes. 14. I just finally learned last year at age 45. Now I can't stop whistling. 15. For I feel so stupid. 16. I can whistle, but I'm so bad it makes me look stupid if I try. 17. Remembering somebody's name. If a person comes up and says, "Hi, I'm Jim Peterson," I will have forgotten it by the time I've said, "Hey, I'm Knox Wild." 18. I'm the same, but I also am very bad at recognizing and remembering faces too. My life is a blur of conversations with people that know me, but I have no idea who they are until I work it out from the topics of conversation. 19. Face blindness is very much a real condition. 20. Yep. My spouse is face blind. Unfortunately for him, he's unusually tall and people tend to remember him. He can recognize people he sees often by their voice, how they walk, or if he sees them regularly in context, like at work. But it doesn't help when Dolores and Bob, from a church we attended once 10 years ago, or our high school-aged son's third grade teacher, stops him in a store to chat him up. 21. Same. I thought I was bad at it, but then I noticed I remember the names I want to remember. It's not that other people are better at it. It's that I'm so goddamn self-absorbed I make zero effort to remember the name. I'm the asshole, it's me. 22. I'm so bad at this. I've tried repeating their name back to them and it still doesn't help. I actually have Googled tips for remembering names and nothing has worked. We moved last month and everyone is so nice and welcoming, and here I am like, "Oh, who are you again?" 23. Every time I read this, I get filled with ugh. It's very hard to explain and accept my position. Here is why. I had brain surgery that required removal of a section of my front left temporal lobe. As a result, my ability to remember names has all but disappeared. This is a challenge I have every time I try to communicate. My strategy is to find songs that contain the names of the people I am trying to recall. You'd be amazed how many songs have people's names. Give it a shot. For example, If your name is John, then you can remember the song Uncle John's Band, and when you see him, the song hits you, then boom. 24. I feel like people with bits of gray matter missing get a free pass. 25. Small talk. I turn every casual conversation into an awkward dance of random facts and nervous laughter lol. 26. I'm the opposite. I can make small talk, but if the conversation goes on for longer than 30 seconds, I just kinda sit there awkwardly. 27. Doing anything while someone is watching. 28. It makes me so nervous. If I'm alone, I'm as confident as they come. If I'm being watched, it's like I can't figure out how to work my own fingers. 29. Comforting sad people. I'll literally just stand there and be like, You want some water? 30. I relate to this. My mom has an incredible sense of empathy and is very comforting. I did not inherit this quality. I just say things like, They're there, or, I'm sorry to hear that. 31. I've got the empathy part, just not the comforting part. I'll feel really bad for them, but feeling bad isn't really helping lol. 32. Yeah, I think it's very possible to be empathetic without being a good caretaker. 33. Yeah, whenever somebody I care about feels bad, I just end up feeling bad too lol. Or I just get really anxious, like, oh fuck, I'm supposed to do something but I don't know what. 34. 99% of the time, skipping the words and sticking with body language is the right move. Sit with them, give them a hug, simply exist with them. Almost always appreciated. 35. I'm a bit like that. I've learned how to react with specific people. For example, I know if my mom is upset to hug her. But if it's a stranger, I'll usually just stare at them wide-eyed and panicked. Maybe find someone else to help them. I try to remember to ask if they want me to do anything. But sometimes I'll forget. I'm not good at dealing with overly emotional people. It takes a lot of effort dealing with the basics. 36. Us British have evolved a special gift for this exact situation. Or any conversation that feels a bit awkward. I'll let you in on it, but you got to promise that you won't abuse this power. Okay, here it goes. I'll put the kettle on and you can tell me all about it. Then you just listen or sit in silence. Just being there is enough for some people, and the tea is just there as a sign that you care. There is no occasion that this isn't appropriate. If you need extra, I care. Add biscuits, especially ones that can be dunked. I recommend a hobnob. That's a biscuit that is unfazed by a dunking. If you dislike someone and want to passively let them know your feelings, a rich tea. That's a biscuit that disintegrates at the mere idea of being dunked. 37. I was expecting some kind of meme advice, but this is so perfect I'm going to have to buy a kettle. Americans don't have kettles. We know we should have one, but we won't buy one. 38. This made me think of the do none of you own a fucking kettle response in that one thread about boiling water or something. 39. This. I feel sympathy and empathy, I'm just shockingly bad at convincingly conveying it. Same with gratitude, people always say I seem like I'm faking it to be polite. 40. Whenever I'm comforting someone, I always start by asking if they want me to offer advice or just sit in silence with them. It's usually the latter. People like to feel heard more than anything. 41. Sense of direction. I navigate around well due to memorization. I have no feeling of which way to go. I can get lost after using the restaurant bathroom easy. 42. I laugh when someone tries to give me directions involving an SEW. I need left, right, and landmarks. 43. As far as I'm concerned, north is forward or up, no matter where I am in relationship to the world. Left and right can be useful only because my wedding ring means left. Yes, I check my hands for left. Like a 5-year-old. 44. Yes. This made me laugh as it reminded me of when I took my driving lessons many years ago. My instructor, upon realizing how slow my instant recognition of left-right was. Literally making me hold my left hand up, palm outwards, and then showing me how my thumb and first finger makes an L for left. Shape. Honestly, I feel like I have found my people in this thread. Thank you. 45. The direction I am facing is always north in my mind. 46. My sense of direction is also dog shite. I always need GPS to get literally anywhere. I need to go to a place maybe 10 times before I no longer need one. 47. I always need GPS to get literally anywhere. Same. I hate it when people ask me what route I took to get to them. Like, I literally turned my brain off and followed the GPS voice thingy. I wasn't keeping track of how I actually got here. 48. I work with a bunch of folks about to retire, and they love the What's It By game. I ate dinner at the new Pakistani-Mexican fusion place. It was good. Ooh, that place by Early Bird Diner? Oof. Yes. That was next door. Down by the Spaghetti Trough on Washington Ave? If that's by Early Bird. Down kinda past the Lutheran Church. Again, by the transitive property, if all these places are together. By the vape shop that used to be a Pizza Hut. I don't vape, so. Or is it by the Licorice Emporium by the old mall? Listen, it sounds like you know this area way better than I do. Can I please be free of this social interaction? 49. Mine is so bad it kinda helps me. If I feel like I'm going north, chances are better than even that I'm actually going south. So I have to play mind games with myself when I'm lost. 50. Same. My fiancé says I don't pay enough attention, but it's like, dude, my brain won't make the little map. 51. Same. My husband once said, "Are you just singing songs in your head when we're driving?" No, I'm paying attention, it just doesn't matter. I will always turn the wrong way when leaving an unfamiliar gas station. 52. When I moved to the Bronx, I just could not get the hang of directions. I finally drove to the Throgs Neck Bridge to drop a friend off, and the last piece of the map fell into place. Only took a decade to catch it, lol. 53. Just commented this same thing. I feel you, lol. Is like I have a broken compass in my mind. 54. Yes. I've been trying to explain this to people my whole life. Whatever part of most brains that's responsible for direction is just broken in mine. Just like drawing, I can't get an image in my head onto paper. Just can't. But I have a strange theory. After major back surgery years ago, I was put on heavy pain meds for 1 week. During that time, my toddler asked me to draw a picture of his toy truck. Now, I can't even draw acceptable stick figures, but it's for my kid, so gave it a try. For the second time ever, I could see how to put it on paper. Drew a perfect 3D truck with a full scenery behind it. Wasn't perfect, but compared to my usual, it was a damn masterpiece. After going off the meds, I tried drawing again, and I was right back to my original zero ability self. I'm convinced we all have amazing abilities, but everyone has different locks on those abilities. Certain things can unlock them. Obviously, I would never recommend narcotic pain meds to do so. Far too dangerous and not worth the risk. But maybe there's another way that'll eventually be discovered. Maybe that's part of why so many become horribly addicted to narcotics. Maybe it unlocks something in them that they can't stand to lock up again. Sorry for the novel, have thought about this for years. I'd love to figure out how to unlock my brain's compass. Until then, I rely on Google Maps and my 16-year-old son, who is insanely good at finding his way around anywhere. 55. Me too, I call it directionally challenged. 56. You're not alone. I'm with you here. And what sucks is I'm good at geography but sucks in navigation. I moved closer to my workplace a few years ago, and my partner visited from overseas. He knew how to get around quickly and was quick to pinpoint we were going to the wrong direction. My lack of navigation skills also made me good at finding signage just to find my way. Whenever I take public transpo, I always have Google Maps open or the public transpo app just to make sure where I'm going. I suck. 57. A friend was moving from Pensacola to San Diego after school for the Navy, And after an hour or so of driving I called and asked her where she was at and she didn't know. So I asked what road she was on so I can help determine how far away she was and she told me she was on 10 East. I didn't even know what to say, but East and West cannot simply be confused that bad. You want to get to the West Coast, then start driving west and you'll figure it out by some road signs. Not east. 58. Well, as my mom will tell you, in kindergarten I failed at skipping. They even put a note on my report card. So don't ask me to skip for you, I can't do it. 59. My kid came home with a failing grade in scarf dance. Okay. 60. Sorry to your child, but I've been giggling about this for 5 minutes straight. 61. Thanks, but no apology is necessary, the boy is thriving. He just sucks at scarf dance. 62. When people ask if you want to join them, do you say, no thanks, I'll skip this one? 63. Weren't you listening? He said he can't. Which means if he's asked to do something, he is compelled to do it to the fullest extent possible. And don't talk to the poor guy about shortcuts. Can't skip any of the routes or intersections. 64. You don't see much of a need to skip as an adult. Yet, reading this now makes me want to go outside and try it. I wonder if it's one of those skills you lose if you don't use it. 65. Holding a conversation. 66. Hilarious that no one responded to this. 67. A one comedy right there. 68. It's really a struggle. I sometimes can't even hold full conversations with my friends who I've known for years, and it's not because I'm not comfortable with them either. I am just bad at coming up with things to say. 69. I have the exact same issue, even with my parents and siblings. It's easier said than done, but what has helped me is focusing on living in the moment and not overthinking what I'm going to say. I know that goes against think before you speak. But that's literally the issue, lol. We're probably just thinking way too much. Edit. Oh, and reading. Personally, I've never been a reader, but I've found myself reading a lot more in adulthood. The stuff I read is 90% of my small talk these days. 70. Are you on a one-to-one setting with them? Or like you and multiple friends together? I notice the only time I will keep a convo is one-to-one. In a group setting, I rarely speak. 71. It's hard when they end talking and I can't think of anything to say after. Yeah. 72. Here's a helpful technique I call 2Q1U, intended to help carrying a conversation. I documented this as workable when starting in sales, but works for making new friends too. I took some time to write it out years ago, so I apologize if the text comes off too salesy and try hard, but it helped me. 8/9. Conversate with anyone, better. There's a top secret conversation technique that is extremely helpful in making new friends everywhere you go. It's an exact and precise blueprint on how to turn every stranger you meet into your new biggest fan through the simple power of great conversation. My advice, remember your new conversation gift as 2Q1U, and it should be applied to every person you interact with. To apply this technique, first you must understand that all people absolutely love to answer questions about themselves. This is for 3 primary reasons. They know the answer, it's about them. They love the subject, themselves. You've removed any social pressure of them having to think of what to say next. But you can't just go around asking everyone a bunch of personal questions without sounding like a lead police investigator conducting an interrogation. So for example, imagine a total stranger asking you the following. What did you do for dinner last night? Pizza. What kind of pizza? Pepperoni. Do you always get pepperoni? Sometimes. What's your least favorite kind of pizza? Anchovies. What did you do after eating the pizza? Went to the movies. What movie did you see? Batman. Do you always like superhero movies? No, not really. Did you have popcorn? Sounds like an awful interrogation, right? Yes, and believe it or not, as badly as that many questions would sound, it's still much more preferable than most typical small talk conversation you hear strangers having, because the person responding to the questions knows the answer, loves the subject, still doesn't have to think of what to say next. Now in a moment we'll add the 2Q1U system to the above example and see how much different it sounds. The 2Q1U is a simple reminder that every great conversation has a perfect flow, and I'll outline it for you now. 2 questions you ask of a friend, stranger, or prospect. You must give one thing about yourself. So remember, 2 questions, and then one thing about yourself is a captivating and magical conversation flow. Let's rework the same exact conversation as above, but after every 2 questions, interjecting a little tidbit about yourself. This is the same conversation as above with a new co-worker you just met in the break room with 2Q1U added. Q. What did you do for dinner last night? Pizza. Q. What kind of pizza? Pepperoni. U. Oh, pepperoni. I love those big hunks of sausage, but my spouse doesn't. So we end up on pepperoni a lot too. Q. Do you always get pepperoni? Sometimes. Q. What's your least favorite kind of pizza? Anchovies. U. Yuck. I'll never forget the day when I was a kid and learned that some people put fish on pizza. Yikes. Q. What did you do after eating the pizza? Went to the movies. Q. What movie did you see? Batman. U. Oh, nice. I haven't seen that one yet but can't wait. The previews look awesome. Q. Do you always like superhero movies? No, not really. Q. Did you have popcorn? No. U. I guess after pizza, you were probably craving sweets instead, but I always have to have the buttered popcorn. Notice the major difference? It definitely will take some practice, but I have literally seen the above technique change people's lives. What you'll find is after a couple questions from you, then a little about you, people will begin to share more and more with you. Even complete strangers will start with the same one-word answers above, then slowly begin telling you their whole life story before soon going to tell their friends about this awesome new co-worker they just met, that talked to them about the new Batman movie last night. One important more tip here. When you're about to meet someone new, or talk to an old friend on the phone, instead of thinking of conversation starters to make your chat more fun, you'll now only have think of questions you have for the person you'll be speaking with. It's much easier, and eventually, those little tidbits about yourself will come flowing out of you based on their answers to your questions, making it the best two-sided conversation they've had in a while. Ask people anything, and you'll get a response. If you'd really like to become a professional of 2Q1U, train yourself to quickly think of many worthwhile questions to ask everyone you see. As you continue to get better and better, you'll soon learn that you can ask anyone just about anything. Try second out today on someone. Edit. Thank you all. As a quick ad, please know that learning how to start a conversation better equips you to uncover shared commonalities or energy between you and potential new friends. Little tidbits of sausage talk is just a great start. 73. I love those big hunks of sausage is a great first reveal about yourself. 74. Cutting anything in half, no matter how even it seems it will be, it ends up stupid. 75. Do you work at a Domino's in the Central Texas area by chance? If so, I think you cut my pizza the other day. 76. Mental arithmetic. 77. What about regular, sane arithmetic? 78. We chill. 79. Came here to say this. I have a doctorate in applied mathematics and I'm horrible at mental arithmetic. 80. Taught high school math for 10 years and I am not good at getting numbers quickly in my head. I made sure to tell the kids that. They think to be good at math, you have to be able to do it super quick mentally, and that's not true at all. 81. Sleeping. It takes so long to fall asleep. And I wake up wide awake multiple times a night. Nightmares constantly. I've tried all the things. Dark, light, silence, noise, TV, fan, white noise. I'm exhausted. I have a sleep study on April 29th. Cross your fingers they can help me cause your girl is sleepy. 82. Dealing with this issue for nearly 10 years now. Went to the doctor 3 times and apparently he gave me the strongest sleeping pills they had, which had absolutely zero effect on me. 83. My sleeping pills put me down so hard I wet the bed. I'm 40. Doesn't matter if I stop liquids hours before, use the bathroom before. Maybe my SO is playing a trick on me when I sleep, but joke's on her, she gets peed on. So, Back to restless sleep. 84. Peeling a hard-boiled egg. 85. Sometimes it's the egg's fault. 86. My attempts at folding fitted sheets are a chaotic masterpiece. It's like wrestling an octopus into submission every time. Does anyone feel me? 87. I fold it the long way a couple times and then roll it up like a burrito. 88. A person of culture like myself. 89. I just try to do my best and then shove it into the closet. I mean, does it really matter if your sheets are properly folded? 90. I just skip the folding part and proceed directly to shoving it into the closet. 91. Throwing. I can throw a ball, but not far or fast. Never been able to. I'm in good shape. I got a good build, but don't count on me to be QB in your football game or pitcher on a baseball team. Something about my arm, I just can't get it very fast. 92. Handwriting. I guess it's not a big issue in this day and age, but I had actually put effort into improving my writing and it still sucks. I can only produce semi-decent handwriting when I'm using the right type of pen, writing at a specific angle, and on the right surface. Change any one of those and it all devolves into childish scribbling. 93. Studying. 94. I just started taking classes after being out of school for 15 years and I feel this. Like I wasn't even good at studying back then. Meanwhile, my husband is just in the other room basically memorizing textbooks as a hobby. 95. A signature that doesn't look like a child forged it. 96. Small talk with even people I'm close to. I have a need for deeper or more complex conversation or I'm not stimulated enough to even want to interact. 97. Any DIY. I grew up with a father that could do anything and really well, electrics, plumbing, plastering, carpentry, mechanics, you name it. I can drill a hole in a wall, and that's about it. 98. I had to drill a hole in my wardrobe door to install the handles. I measured once, twice, rechecked if it was straight, grabbed my drill and installed them. Fucking crooked. Edit. Guys, you are all underestimating me. I used the all-spare nail trick. Used a level, drilled one hole first. I even measured how far each hole was from the edge of the door. Still crooked. 99. Self-care. 100. Socializing. Making new friends. Making small talk. Dancing. That last one sucks because I come from the dancingest family. Every goddamn wedding it's a line of people trying to get me on the dance floor. Don't get me started on baccalaureate weekends and the hours of clubbing they inevitably entail. People think I'm shy, but I'm not. If I could dance, I would dance. I just have zero rhythm. I look like an injured cow having an epileptic fit when I try. So I don't subject myself, or others, to a public performance. I shouldn't be criticized for this. I should be thanked. 101. Replying to messages.